The player who showcased the most elegant and classic performance in the history of tennis is notably Roger Federer. The reason he is considered elegant is probably largely due to his single-handed backhand. As sophistication was added to the single-handed backhand, which is considered the most technically difficult in tennis, a unique movement of Federer was born. However, I feel a sense of regret that I can no longer see that elegant single backhand due to Roger Federer's retirement. These days, there are times when there are no players with a single backhand in the top 10. In the top 20 rankings, there are only 3 players. Due to the increasingly rare single-handed backhand players, there are concerns from tennis officials that the lack of diversity in tennis matches is leading to a significant decline in the appeal of the Big Three era. These days, while top players appear to be excellent overall, the similarity in their play has led to a prevailing opinion that matches are honestly less entertaining compared to the 1990s to 2010s. In Switzerland, there is Wawrinka in Italy, Musetti in Greece, Tsitsipas and in Bulgaria, Dimitrov, all remaining as single-handed backhand players. The absence of Federer makes me feel fortunate to still see that elegant single backhand from Dimitrov, who is often referred to as the second Federer. Let's take a look at the various aspects of the classic and elegant single backhand. Grigor Dimitrov, the Bulgarian representative known as the second Federer. Born in 91, 33 years old, and standing at 191 centimeters, he wields a single backhand that rivals Federer's elegance. In 2008, he won the junior men's singles at Wimbledon and the US Open, making him a significant prospect during his teenage years. And he was recognized as the next generation Federer due to his one-handed backhand style. However, after turning professional, he spent his mid-20s only hearing the label of a perennial prospect. And it wasn't until 2017 that he truly broke out, reaching world ranking number 3. As of January 2025, his overall record in singles is 462 wins and 293 losses, with a winning percentage of 61.2%. He has won 9 singles titles, and his best Grand Slam results are reaching the semi-finals at the 2017 Australian Open, the quarterfinals at the 2024 French Open, the semi-finals at Wimbledon in 2014, and the semi-finals at the 2019 US Open. Dimitrov is an all-rounder alongside Federer in a time when baseliners who focus on rallies and minimize net dashes have completely taken over the tennis scene. An all-rounder is a playing style that mixes all forms of play, such as serve and volley, net dashes, rallies and drop shots, and is considered an ideal in tennis. Looking at his style, it's clear that he is quite similar to Federer, with a forehand hit with a grip close to Eastern and motions for Federer's signature one-handed backhand and slice all being similar. He often manages to score extraordinary points with stylish shots, but sometimes struggles with the simpler plays. While his serve may not be his main weapon, he possesses a powerful serve that exceeds 210 km, and his forehand is also strong. His greatest strength is his ability to employ various game strategies, and once he takes control, he can easily shake his opponent back and forth. He can freely execute a variety of shots, including topspin, flat, and slice, which poses a significant threat to his opponents. His signature one-handed backhand becomes unstoppable once it starts firing, leaving opponents with no effective strategy against it. However, his biggest weakness is arguably his unstable one-handed backhand. And he is also known for having a very shaky mental state during matches, to the point of being mentioned as a meme in the tennis community. One-handed backhand players often exhibit inconsistency, but Dimitrov particularly stands out for struggling to secure important points during matches. Although it has decreased somewhat recently, breaking rackets is still a common sight. Looking at Dimitrov's statistics, when he wins the first set, he has an 84% win rate, while his win rate drops to 28% when he loses the first set, showing a clear contrast. Against the top 10 players, he showed a relatively low win rate of 29%, indicating some mental weakness when facing strong opponents at crucial moments. He has a very handsome face shape, which has led to many magazine photo shoots, and he has dated several female athletes. In particular, he was famously in a romantic relationship with Sharapova. There are even jokes about him being a player who shines brighter outside the court. Additionally, there have been instances where Rafael Nadal, Alexander Zverev, and John Isner have chosen Dimitrov as the best-looking active tennis player. So what are the differences between Federer and Dimitrov? In fact, to be precise, while Federer maintains a more closed stance when hitting a forehand, Dimitrov is closer to an open stance. This is due to the difference in dominant eyes. Federer has a dominant left eye, while Dimitrov has a dominant right eye. Dominant eye is a term that indicates which eye is primarily and predominantly used by an individual when performing an activity. The brain processes visual information received from both eyes to create a single synthesized image, and during this process, one eye may be used more dominantly than the other. Right-handed people may think they are right-eye dominant, but it is known that hand usage bias and eye dominance are not directly related. The reason the dominant eye is important is that it affects aiming in sports such as shooting, archery, baseball, and golf. In glasses and lens prescriptions, there are cases where the power is adjusted based on the dominant eye for visual correction. This is also because it plays a role in distance perception and setting the direction of vision in daily life. The dominant eye greatly contributes to the accuracy of vision generally. The closer the dominant eye is looking straight ahead, the better one can see the ball, and when hitting the ball, there's a slight increase in comfort and accuracy. Applying this to the forehand, Federer, who is right-handed with his left eye as the dominant eye, can hit with a closed stance without much difference from an open stance, since his left eye can keep an eye on the front. However, Dimitrov, whose dominant eye is his right eye, may find it difficult to accurately track the ball when using a closed stance, as his dominant right eye tends to look diagonally to the right rather than straight ahead. Such differences in dominant eye create minor stance variations when hitting with a closed stance. Using an Eastern grip, it often enhances stability. Federer's forehand is ideal in the Eastern grip, but it's also the reason why not everyone can replicate it. The differences in stance based on grip are something that tennis academies, which aim to systematically develop professionals, prioritize in their assessments. Once a habit is formed, it's difficult to change. So it's important to teach the form according to the grip from the very beginning. Dimitrov is an all-rounder with a playing style similar to Federer. However, it seems he does not possess the same level of talent as Federer, resulting in a career that pales in comparison. It appears that the issue is not just about talent, but also that his mental stability is significantly less stable compared to Federer. In the past, he was treated as a rising star in the racket smash scene, but this has significantly decreased by the standards of the 2020s. However, while his performance is quite inconsistent, Dimitrov is often praised for his playing style, which is smooth and beautiful enough to be compared to Federer. Here, let's also recognize the strengths of our fellow enthusiasts. Here, a representative method called the Miles test is commonly used. It is the most widely used method that involves using your hands to check your dominant eye while looking at a specific target. The method involves extending both hands to form a triangular shape with a small hole and, with both eyes open, aligning a distant small target in the center of the triangle. Then closing one eye to check if the target is visible. Close the opposite eye and check in the same way. The side where the target is visible without deviating from the center is the advantageous side. In fact, for us enthusiasts, the advantageous side is neither a significant advantage nor a disadvantage. However, for professionals, each advantage contributes to a great synergy, and even small and trivial aspects can create minor differences, so they examine everything in detail. So what do you think is the best way to do a backhand here? Federer has mentioned that he would teach his children using a two-handed backhand. And as mentioned, these days, he said he is teaching all of his children with a two-handed backhand. This is probably a judgment that, although he was a single-handed backhand player, a two-handed backhand, which has more advantages, would be more beneficial. Additionally, it seems that he prioritized ease of learning and convenience, as he is not a professional, but simply a hobbyist in tennis. At this point, one wonders if Federer would have become an even more successful tennis emperor had he been a two-handed backhand player. In this way, the advantages of a two-handed grip are stability and power, And it is good at responding to topspin, with quick and stable returns being its strengths. Additionally, it allows for stable shots even in situations where balance is somewhat compromised. And it is advantageous for adjusting accuracy in direction and depth. On the contrary, the disadvantage of a one-handed grip is the lack of power and stability, making it difficult to handle topspin and strong shots. Additionally, adjusting the distance to the ball is essential, and it can be challenging to time it correctly. There is also a significant physical toll, and the stability and power of the ball can drop sharply, especially when responding to high balls with fast speeds and strong spins. For example, this is also the reason why Federer was losing significantly to Nadal on clay courts. Considering various situations, it may be advantageous for someone like Taryn or a player with less than 2 years of experience to switch to a two-handed backhand. However, if someone has been using a one-handed backhand for more than 5 years, they may have a more stable slice shot and volley. And, like Federer and Dimitrov, who execute a strong swing with a natural upper body rotation, one can pursue the elegance and classic style of a one-handed backhand. Hold on a second. If our fellow player is using a single backhand, there are some good exercises to do 3 times a week, just like Dimitrov's training videos. For a tennis swing, the arms, shoulders, and torso must work in perfect harmony to achieve accuracy and explosiveness. This movement is an exercise that strengthens the wrist, arms, and torso, helping to generate flexible movement and power during strokes. The clear fact is that most players currently ranked at the top of the ATP are using a two-handed backhand. In the past, in the early 2000s, there was a time when there were more one-handed players. Now, due to advancements in racket technology, differences in court surfaces, and changes in players' heights and playing styles, the two-handed backhand has become dominant. As announced by the International Tennis Federation ITF in 2024, there are 100 million tennis players worldwide. And there will be further advancements. Let's enjoy tennis while watching these changes unfold, having fun and staying healthy. Let's try. Dimitrov's training moves for just 3 months. Don't forget to subscribe elegantly today.